You talked to one former Guantanamo prisoner who has been given a car, money for a wedding, and a house by the government. To some Americans, this might seem odd, almost like a reward. How do the Saudis explain it?
Well, one Saudi official had a great answer to that question when I asked it of him. He said, "We want to keep him busy." If a man who maybe was arrested when he was still in his 20s and doing the kind of stupid things you do when you're in your 20s is now in his 30s and he's married with children, the world looks a whole lot different, and you've got a wholly different set of responsibilities, and your number one reason for living may no longer be to go off and fight against Americans or to go off and avenge real or suspected wrongs that the U.S. and Israel have committed against Muslims. So they're just trying to give them a whole new take on life. And it is conditioned by the fact that the Saudis believe that most of these prisoners that are coming home from Guantanamo are really innocent of any serious crime of terrorism. And the only law that the Saudis consider them to have violated was to travel on a false passport from Saudi Arabia to either Pakistan or Afghanistan. So they give them, they usually send them before a judge, and the judge sentences him, but the sentence always ends up being time served in Guantanamo. So essentially, as soon as he gets home, one of these prisoners will go through this rehabilitation program, which lasts about 10 months, and then he gets what you can only call is a second chance.
Now, you also talked to an expert on Saudi security programs. What does he think the current status is of al-Qaeda's organization within the kingdom?
Well, al-Qaeda in Saudi Arabia has almost been taken down entirely. The Saudis have a list of 85 most wanted terrorists, and they've all fled the kingdom. You can't survive for long as a serious terrorist in Saudi Arabia because it's an authoritarian state. They can set up roadblocks anytime they want, any place they want. They can search your car anytime they want. And this presence, once the Saudis decided to get serious about going after al-Qaeda in Saudi Arabia, and if you remember back in 2003 and 2004, there were some terrible terrorist attacks in Saudi Arabia, and that really galvanized the Saudis to go after al-Qaeda, and they went after him with a vengeance. So that's sort of the hard approach, and then they take the wannabes and the foot soldiers who have not actually killed anybody, and they try to put them through this rehabilitation program.